You turn them up to the right like this. You're going to remove the rear two back ends of the rollers. You're going to turn this to its side, and then you're going to pull this back and out. Now, if that shaft comes out, you must immediately put it back into this case. And then what you do is you put it against the stop. That will prevent that from unwinding. This can dramatically hurt your hand if this unwinds. It'll go the speed of light, I kid you not. Here's what the links look like, disassembled. Now, if you have to replace the links back on, what you do is grab this with one hand, put your thumb here so you have a rest point. Always make sure that this starts the fore end. It does take some practice to get used to. It may be very frustrating for you who don't have very good hands at working on things. You always want to make sure that the rollers roll nice and smooth. They shouldn't bind at all. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to reassemble this. We are developing new rear plungers for this. The ones that we do have right now are very strong and don't have the correct angle to make it easily adaptable in the field, so I do recommend having a screwdriver available. What you're going to do to make this easy to apply on is you have to bring the rollers to the lower position here. Like I said, thumb right here, hold your hand on there tightly. Keep this in this position, make sure that this is facing up and that these are at the bottom. What that does is it allows you to rest them on the shell. As you can see, the shell's inner channel there is at the bottom. So they're just going to fall right into place. If you try doing it from the middle or the top, they're not going to fall right in that line. They're going to fall somewhere in between there and it's not going to fit together correctly. You place this on the back tightly, and then what you'll do is you'll rest it against your chest, which I'll have to show you against. Put this on the inside and push down on the other plunger. And snap the shells back together. Now make sure that the plungers stick out. Sometimes they'll go inside. Both plungers have extended. And now your drum's back in good working order. Everything's there. Very simple. Major common rules with the drum is never, ever, ever hand this to your friend. Their instinctive nature is to grab it, turn the hand wheel. If you turn it too fast and let go of it, it will break a link. They're strong, but they're not meant to run at 60 miles an hour. And it's just like hitting a brick wall. And, you know, when you load it and when you get to the very last round, the very first round should always have pressure on it. You should always be able to feel that, and you can see the departure angle right there. It's always slanted up, so you should be able to have good pressure right there. That's one thing we test for with the drums. It also should have that departure angle when you're finished loading the drum. Other than that, if there's any other questions or concerns, you can contact us at allied004@centurytel.net or james@alliedarmament.com, sheena@alliedarmament.com. Eventually we'll have a just an alliedarmament.com email name that you can use, or you can call us at 503-543-5154. Greatly appreciate the time you took to watch this video, and hope to be talking to you on the phone soon, or seeing you on YouTube using our product. Have a good afternoon, and thank you very much. Now, inherently, when you're going to put this in a gun, the basic thing to know about it is that there's there's several manufacturers who made receivers. Right here we have an original Heckler & Koch firearm. And the bolt is in the rearward position, which you want to do when you load these firearms. You put the drum in, you want to push your plunger in, lock it in place. Now it'll have a little bit of toggle in the HK gun, but that will not prevent it from feeding. It has a perfect departure angle for this firearm. The reason why it has a toggle, as I'll show you, is that the American-made JLD Enterprises PTR91 series rifles, which is very popular among shooters these days, is built on the same platform, but the receiver has a variance in it compared to it, and you'll see when I put this in. It's a nice, tight, snug fit. We had to find a middle ground between the two receivers, and being that these are the most popular receivers of all the firearms that are on the HK91 platform, we had to find that perfect balance. So it'll work in both magazine wells. We recommend that it will work in special weapons made firearms. I would definitely not guarantee it for any of the Century-made firearms, as they use several manufacturers of receivers, varying from casted receivers, stamped receivers, to milled receivers and whatnot. It's very complicated at that point. They will work in a Century set-me if you modify the front of the tower. The set-me's have a round receiver in the front, and you'd actually have to shave this front area to make it fit. We will not warranty against this, as it's an after factory modification.